Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into the world of AI today. All the latest news, hot topics from the community, and of course, the new models. It seems like there's a new one every other day. Buckle up. It's going to be fascinating.
I know. It's incredible how quickly things are moving. Every time we do one of these deep dives, it feels like the whole landscape has shifted.
Seriously, keeping up is a full-time job. But that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with some of these new AI models. There's a lot to talk about, starting with Zonos V0.1. This is the one from Zephyr AI, right?
That's the one. It's making a lot of noise because it's considered the top open weight text-to-speech model out there right now.
Open weight. Open weight. Remind me what that means again. It's for developers, right?
Basically, it means developers can really get under the hood, like tinker with the model's weights and stuff, to create super customized voices. It's a level of flexibility we haven't really seen before. Got it. And on top of all that, Zonos supports tons of languages. English, Japanese, Chinese, French, German, you name it. And then there's that zero-shot voice cloning. Imagine, like, David Attenborough narrating your to-do list, or Morgan Freeman reading you bedtime stories.
That's the tech, but it brings up some interesting ethical questions. We're talking about the ability to use anyone's voice without their permission. It could be amazing for things like accessibility, but the potential for misuse, it's a concern.
True, true. Okay, on to another exciting release. Metafair just dropped AudioBox Aesthetics,
This one's open source too, yeah.
trained on a massive data set of audio, like over 562 hours.
And they're using it in projects like Meta Movie Gen. Think AI generating entire movies.
Whoa, okay, back to open source for a sec. Why is that so important for AI?
Think about it. Anyone can access this model, experiment with it, build upon it, collaboration and innovation on a global scale.
I like the sound of that. Okay, last one for this section. Qtai Labs and their Moshi model. This real-time speech-to-speech system has unbelievably low latency. We're talking 200 milliseconds.
It's practically instantaneous. Hard to wrap your head around the applications. Real-time translation could become seamless, breaking down those communication barriers. Imagine a conference where everyone, no matter their language, can understand each other perfectly.
That's a future I can get behind. Okay, new models are great, but how do we know which ones are actually good? How do they stack up against each other? Let's talk about benchmarks.
Benchmarks are basically our way of measuring model performance. It's like the AI Olympics. And in this arena, Perplexity's Sonar model is really making waves.
I've seen the headlines. This one's built on Llama 3.3 7dB, right?
Yep, and it's outperforming some big names. GPT-4 Mini, Claude 3.5 Haiku.
Not just accurate, but super fast, too. 1,200 tokens per second. That's like 10 times faster than Gemini 2.0 Flash when it comes to decoding information.
Speed and accuracy, the dream team. But it's also fascinating to see how these smaller models are proving size isn't everything. Like UC Berkeley's DeepSeek R1 Distilled Q 1.5b.
This one's tiny, but it's outperforming OpenAI's O1 preview on certain math tasks.
It all comes down to distillation. It's like taking a giant encyclopedia and squeezing all the knowledge into a pocket guide. These smaller models are trained to mimic the performance of their larger counterparts, but they're way more efficient.
So we could see these super efficient problem-solving machines everywhere.
Definitely a trend to watch. And when it comes to problem solving, we can't forget ReasonClux 32B. It's crushing it on the math benchmark, even beating OpenAI's O1 preview in DeepSeek V3 by a lot.
AI making such progress in math. What could this mean for fields like science?
Well, if AI can solve those complex equations and analyze data faster and more efficiently, the potential for breakthroughs is huge. In medicine, physics, you name it.
Okay, groundbreaking models, check. But how is all of this actually helping us in the real world, making life easier, more productive, or even just more fun?
That's what really matters in the end.
Right.
And the applications are already incredibly diverse. Automating social media, translating text in real time, there's something for everyone.
Let's get into some specifics. Class Poster is an interesting one.
Open source, right? It's an AI agent that automates posting across all your different social media platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Blue Sky. You create one post, and it does the rest.
That sounds like a huge time saver, but I do wonder how some people feel about that level of automation, especially on social media.
Right. It's a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
On the one hand, it frees up time for more strategic thinking, but then there are questions about authenticity and over-reliance on AI.
Definitely something to consider. Okay, how about something a bit more sci-fi? Brilliant Labs, smart glasses.
These are using Google DeepMind's Gemini Live API, right?
Yep, for real-time text translation and object identification.
Imagine walking down a street in, I don't know, Tokyo, And having everything translated instantly. Menus, signs, conversations. It's like an augmented reality layer on top of the world.
And not just translation, identifying plants and landmarks, getting directions just by looking around. It's blurring the lines between physical and digital in a way we haven't seen before.
Makes you wonder how this will change how we see the world.
Okay, coders out there, listen up. Slack Code Expert Bot with CodeGen.
This one's a game changer. Imagine like a senior developer on call 247 to help with any coding challenge.
That's what this bot does.
Pretty much. It can understand and respond to code-related queries, help you troubleshoot bugs, find solutions, even generate code snippets.
That sounds amazing. Anyone who's ever pulled an all-nighter debugging code knows the struggle.
And it's built on open source CodeGen, so it's constantly being improved and updated by the community.
Nice. Speaking of practical applications, Gaia Dynamics for import compliance.
That's a mouthful.
It's designed to make importing goods way less painful for businesses.
Navigating all those import regulations can be a nightmare. This AI agent helps with product descriptions, classification codes, basically everything you need to stay compliant with those crazy rules.
Like having a super efficient import expert on your team.
Exactly. Okay, ready for something fun? Synthesia's Selfie Avatar.
This one is fun. You upload a selfie and boom, a moving, talking avatar of yourself.
Personalized digital content, here we come. You could create unique presentations, online courses, even virtual assistants that look just like you.
Your own mini-me. Okay, last but not least, we have Microsoft Research and their data formulator.
This one's all about turning raw data into visuals.
Right, using LMs.
Data visualization is so important for understanding complex information, but it can be intimidating. This tool makes it super easy. You can create charts, graphs, all kinds of visuals. No data science degree needed.
So it's like having a personal data analyst at your fingertips.
You got it. From social media to data visualization, the range of AI applications is mind-blowing. And we're really just scratching the surface. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive, episode 2025-0215, part 2 of 3. It really is. It seems like every week there's something new to talk about. And it's not just the big companies and research labs either, it's the communities. You know, they're playing such a crucial role.
Okay, let's talk communities. You always say they're like this collective brain for AI. What do you mean by that?
Well, there are these giant spaces online, constantly evolving. Anyone can jump in, learn from each other, share code, debate. It's shaping the future of AI in real time, basically, a level of collaboration we've never seen before.
And so many amazing open source projects come from these communities, right? What are some that you're excited about?
Oh, there are tons. Unsloth is a good one. It's helping to streamline AI development, make things more efficient. And then there's Notebook LM, which lets people build and share AI models right from their browser. I mean, those are just two examples. There are countless others out there, especially on GitHub, that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a real movement, that's for sure. Okay, but let's get into the specifics. What are the hot topics, the debates that are happening in these communities right now?
Well, one that's been hard to ignore is the whole Elon Musk versus Sam Altman thing. It's like a tech drama unfolding in real time. Their visions for the future of AI are so different, and it's sparked a lot of debate.
You can't escape it online. So break it down for us. What are the main points of this debate?
It comes down to, I guess, control and direction. You've got Musk, who's worried about AI safety, the potential for things to go wrong. He thinks OpenAI, which he co-founded, is focusing too much on profit and not enough on responsible development.
And what about Altman? Where does he stand?
Altman's seen as more pragmatic, focused on pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, but also trying to navigate this whole open access thing responsibly. It's a tough balance, and there are valid arguments on both sides.
Definitely reflects the growing pains of the AI industry. We're moving from this niche field to something that could impact every aspect of our lives, and fast.
Exactly. But moving on from the Musk-Altman saga, there's so many other interesting things happening. There's been a lot of buzz around this project called DeepScaler.
I've heard of that one. It's all about accessibility, right?
Yeah. It's about making AI more accessible. DeepScaler uses something called reinforcement learning to help smaller AI models get better performance. Performance that used to require massive computing power. This means individuals, smaller organizations, they can get involved. They don't need those huge data centers, all that expensive hardware.
Democratizing AI, I like it.
Right. And speaking of democratization, we have to talk about the ongoing open source AI debate. This one always gets people fired up. It's a complex issue, that's for sure.
Okay, give us the rundown. What are the main points on both sides of the open source debate?
Well, on one side, you have the folks who are all about transparency and collaboration. Open source everything. They think making AI models and tools freely available will accelerate innovation, prevent a few big companies from controlling everything.
Sounds pretty idealistic. What about the other side? What are their concerns?
The big one is misuse. If these powerful AI models are out there for anyone to use, what's stopping bad actors from getting their hands on them? Think about deepfakes becoming even more convincing. Or even autonomous weapons falling into the wrong hands. It's scary stuff.
Definitely a balancing act. Innovation versus safety.
Absolutely. It's a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just the tech people, policymakers, ethicists, all of us.
Okay, so we've got Reddit, which seems like the place for those big picture AI conversations. But what about Discord? I know you spend a lot of time there.
Discord is definitely where things get more technical. It's like the hardcore AI hangout spot. Developers, researchers, people pushing the limits of what's possible with AI.
So what are they talking about on Discord? Give us a glimpse into that world.
Well, there are channels for pretty much everything. Specific models, architectures, you name it, optimization techniques, people dissecting the latest research papers. It's like a nonstop flow of information and experimentation.
I remember you telling me about something called deep frying on Discord. Doesn't sound very technical.
I know, right? But it's actually a term they use to describe the challenges of working with these massive, cutting-edge AI models. They're so big and complex, it's like trying to run a supercomputer in your kitchen.
Makes sense. So they're deep frying these models. What does that actually involve?
It's all about optimization. Squeezing every ounce of performance out of their hardware and software without losing accuracy. They're experimenting with things like quest quantization, which basically compresses the models to make them run faster, and recurrent depth approaches, which are new ways of processing information.
Sounds complicated. What about people who are just starting out in AI? Is there a place for them on Discord?
Of course, there are tons of channels for beginners, people asking questions, getting help, learning from the pros, and then there are channels for specific developer tools and IDEs, the software environments you use for AI development.
So it's a supportive community no matter your skill level.
Exactly. And then, of course, you can't forget the GPU optimization channels.
Right. The never-ending quest for more processing power.
You got it. People are always comparing hardware configurations, tweaking settings, experimenting with custom kernels, trying to squeeze every last bit of performance out of their systems. It's a fun competition.
That's dedication. But it's not just about raw power, is it? There's also a community of people exploring all sorts of interesting niche applications for AI.
That's right. It's not all about building the biggest, most complex models. People are using AI for all sorts of things, from automating tasks in life sciences marketing to developing patents for vocal agents. There are even challenges and competitions around music chord detection and generating creative content. The variety is amazing.
It really highlights the potential of AI and how people are using it in all these different ways to solve real problems. It's pretty inspiring.
It is. And the best part about these communities is that anyone can get involved. Whether you're a seasoned developer or just curious about AI, there's a place for you. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive Episode 2025 4215, Part 3 of 3.
I'm really struck by all the energy and excitement around AI. These online communities are proof that this technology is capturing people's imaginations, inspiring them to create amazing things.
It really is. It speaks to that human curiosity and drive to build new things. And it's not just the tech side either. People are coming together from all over, all different backgrounds, to explore what AI can do, how it can solve problems, make things better, push the boundaries.
So we've talked about a lot today. New models, real-world stuff, the race for AI dominance, and those awesome online communities. As we wrap up, what are your big takeaways? What are you thinking about after all of this?
One thing is clear. The speed of AI development is increasing, like exponentially. Every breakthrough opens up so many new possibilities. It's exciting, but also a little bit scary, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I get that. It feels like we're on the verge of something huge, but we don't know exactly what it's going to look like.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to see all sides of the story and think critically about what it all means as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives.
You've said before that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Exactly. AI itself isn't good or evil. It's all about how we use it, how we build it. That's what makes these communities so important. There is space for people to come together and make sure AI is a force for good.
As we finish up this deep dive, what do you want listeners to remember? What's the one thing you hope they take away?
I hope they feel that sense of wonder and possibility, but also a sense of responsibility. AI is powerful stuff, and it's up to all of us to shape its future, to make sure it aligns with our value, our hopes for the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So to everyone listening, stay curious, stay engaged, and don't be afraid to explore. You might be surprised by what you find, the impact you can have.
And if you find something cool, a project, a discussion, anything that blows your mind about AI, share it with us. We're always on the lookout for new and exciting things to explore.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI. Until next time, keep those algorithms humming.